What is your deepest, darkest secret? In 1996, I was 6 years old and a friend told me that computer mouse balls were worth as much as gold. Stupidly and with no plan, I stole one from the classroom computer. Our teacher got extremely angry and I got really scared I'd get caught. He had us all leave the room and go in one by one so that whoever stole it could anonymously put it back. I was too scared that somebody might see, so I didn't put it back. The next day, I was going to try to secretly return it, but a kid randomly emptily confessed that he was the one who stole it and his mom went to the store to buy a new one. I should have taken a stand and said, "No, Kyle. You didn't steal it, I did." 28 years later, Kyle is a stripper at a gay nightclub. I've lived a boring non-secretive life, but my great-grandfather once told me a story of when he killed a man with a baseball bat for trying to rob the bar that he owned, and the regulars of the bar stashed the body somewhere and nobody ever talked about it again. He then put his finger to his mouth and said, "SHH, don't tell anyone." So there you go. Sorry, Gramps. I am the culprit of the 1986 pudding cup incident, and not my sister. I looked at people's shoes in Heads Up 7-Up. Live in the only major urban center in a very rural area where there's all kinds of suburbs, road construction, gravel pits, etc. Whenever I see heavy equipment that doesn't get moved or is left unattended, I sneak into the work site at night, climb in the always unlocked bulldozer or whatever the fuck it is, and proceed to lay on the horn in the dead of night before scrambling away. It has been a decade since I started and I think now I've honked the horns of just about every type of heavy machinery that has one. I stole my brother's Ghostbusters t-shirt and made an email account from the shirt napper to ransom it back to him as a mystery for him to solve. Unfortunately, he died a few weeks later before never noticing the emails. I was molested by my cousin, nobody knows, he recently died, karma, drug OD, everyone kept asking why I wasn't upset. I have the type of OCD that makes me think I'm a pedophile. I have never touched a child and never want to. The thought of it disgusts me. But I get recurring intrusive and very unwanted thoughts about it. When I had my son, I almost gave him up for adoption because of the horrendous fear that I would hurt him somehow without realizing. I'll look at a little girl's hair and go, "Aw, how cute." And my brain goes, "Wow, look at you, clearly a rapist. There's something really wrong with you." I was sexually abused as a child myself, so I think it was just a weird way my brain coped with it. To be afraid of causing that pain to someone else so much that every action is a potential sign that I am capable of hurting a child like that. It became extreme and I limited a lot of my life to try and prevent something I wouldn't ever do. I didn't learn it was OCD until well into adulthood. Once I realized they were just intrusive thoughts and they didn't define who I was, it sort of lost its power over me. But, I've only ever told my husband. In grade 6, 1986, we were asked to write a short story during class. I wrote as much of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as I could in the hour provided. I knew it word for word. I got as far as the interior of the Vogon ship before time ran out. I've wanted to leave my current relationship for over 8 years. I yelled that shit was absolutely delicious and creamy over the Walmart intercom. I'm waiting for my spouse to pass so that I can follow soon after. Maybe another 5 YRS or less. I did some super sketchy spying on a girlfriend and discovered her plan to kill me and run off with her affair partner. Edit for the quick version, figured she was cheating, which she went to great lengths to deny. Rolled the dice on my gut and decided the risk of being a complete piece of shit was worth it. Had a close friend give me a crash course with some extremely intrusive tech and confirmed the affair, of course, but then discovered she was spending a lot of time figuring the exact amount of tetrahydrozoline it would take to kill someone with my specific height and weight. She tried once and missed me, got my best friend instead. Less than 36 hours later, he was in the ER. She evidently tried it again a few months later when we both had COVID and locked ourselves in for 2 weeks. They're married now. My friend has to take a pill for the rest of his life, and as long as I live, I'll never again underestimate how needlessly cruel people can be, even when they're telling you to your face that they love you. I once said I only had 5 avocados in self-checkout when I damn well knew there were 6 avocados in that bag. I want my dad to die. My dad is a piece of shit. He has tortured my mom and myself since childhood. He has had chondrosarcoma, bone cancer, for 4 years now. I have no remorse for him suffering from this. I'm rather angry that my family has to suffer because of it. I just hope it all comes to an end very soon so that I can live a peaceful life. It's so emotionally exhausting. My deepest, darkest secret is that I still sleep with the nightlight on because I'm afraid of the dark. Don't judge me, it's comforting, okay? I've done steroids and attempted suicide. The only thing I've wanted in life is to be loved. Currently, my boss just sent me a dick pic and I liked it. In 6th grade I had a friend that lived across the country from me. We Skyped all the time and we were best friends. Well, one night when we were on Skype she was talking about how she didn't want to live, hung up abruptly, and I've never heard from her since. For years I thought she put on a show so she wouldn't have to talk to me. In 3rd grade, I cheated on my history exam. In 4th grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I was Moses in my Hebrew school play. In 5th grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. When my mom sent me to the summer camp for fat kids and then they served lunch, I got nuts and I pigged out and they kicked me out. But the worst thing I ever done, I mixed a pot of fake puke at home and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony and then, then, I made a noise like this, wah 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 and then I dumped it over the side, all over the people in the audience. And then, this was horrible, all the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life. I would need to make a throwaway account for me to say, but I am too lazy to do that. So, from 5 to 9 years old, I was always afraid to go number 2 in our house with a very accessible bathroom. I would hold it for hours, to the point of crossing my legs and holding on. I would, therefore, have a brown streaks that my mom had to clean. Until, one day, it all became too much and my dad screamed, "You want to act like a dog, then I'll treat you like a dog," and he rubbed the soiled underwear in my face. I did stop because it was so humiliating. Discovered 36 years later in therapy that he was most likely sexually abusing me in the bathroom. I've never told another soul this. I banged my mom's sister. First BJ was from my stepdad's brother's stepdaughter. Same age, and every time we meet up for the family gatherings it happens. I've lost track how many times. We are both in our 40s now and we have never actually spoken about it. Everyone at my job tells me everything, complains about each other to me, and I just agree with whatever they say regardless of what I actually think. Nothing feels real to me and I sometimes wish I could be hit by a car on the way to work so I could be out for a week or 2. I have a fart fetish. Girls farting ignites something feral in me. I want to be rid of it so badly it's like a curse. I want a real girlfriend, I want real love. Here's the darkest secret. A girl I know who's really beautiful knows I have a crush on her, so one day I asked her to do this, totally consensually, and she agreed to it. I asked her to fill up on whatever she needed to, beans, beef, broccoli, eggs, anything that would make her fart. Well, she did, and had some dairy to kick it. She's lactose intolerant, and then come over and I got a gas mask and taped a tube to the mouth, then taped and sealed the other end to her butt. We hung out sitting next to each other at my place, and the whole time she was letting out the most foul, lactose intolerance turbo injected farts into the tube, for me to breathe in. I made her swear to never tell a soul, and she didn't, and no one knows I did that, but now let it be known that you all now carry this tale. You all think you have demons, think again. I'm a fraud in academia, I just look great. I let the dogs out. I did /redacted/ when I was /redacted/ and the /redacted/ is still up on /redacted/ to this day. Nice try, FBI. I tried to commit suicide several times. 3 times in high school and twice 2 years ago. I'm a numb 30-year-old coward. They stop being the darkest when you accumulate a few. Then they just become secrets and your life becomes dark. Pro tip. I had sex with my teacher back when I was high school. I'm a guy, by the way. I almost committed a suicide back in the day. Back in the day I would go to Walmart and Kmart and wipe the hard drives of every PC on display once every 2 or 3 weeks. I did this for a couple of years. I taught a friend to format from the C prompt and he started doing it too, and he taught a person. After a while all the PCs on display at the mega stores for like 20 counties around us were periodically being formatted and erased. Years later I was talking to a guy who had worked for Walmart for like 30 years and he was telling me how someone used to format all the PCs in the 2 Walmart he worked in. He worked in the 2 counties I frequented most. Funny thing was they actually set up a sting operation to catch the felonious formatter, and dude was paid overtime to walk the electronics section as a plainclothed customer for like 3 months and never caught the person, even though I'm pretty sure I was still formatting the drives periodically. Somehow we missed each other, ha ha ha. For the record, I was only blowing off steam and figured that what I was doing was harmless shenanigans. I've never been in any kind of trouble with the law and I didn't grow up to be a serial killer, but every now and then when I walk through a PC store I get the itch. Whenever someone angers me greatly, I briefly think about killing them. I don't plan it at all. Just a quick image of me killing the other person. Sometimes it's strangling, a knife, etc. I'm not sure if this is normal. Anyone who's supposedly revealed their secret, that secret isn't the darkest. When I was young my little brother and I were fighting. Later in the day I was going to make myself some nachos. We had a big tub of nacho cheese from Costco. He asked me to make him some. I put my balls in his nacho cheese. I've never told anyone. I regularly have threesomes with my wife and her best friend. Didn't think it would happen but they jokingly brought it up. I talked about it later with the wife who was the one who brought it up and we both set our boundaries and agreed. This was all them. I don't tell anyone else because it's none of their business. It's fun though. I am massively kinky to the point of writing erotica and making guides on BDSM topics. My girlfriend knows I'm kinky but doesn't know about that or the fact I have an account on kinky social media /Reddit. I still write, post, and talk to people because the vanilla bits of my relationship have gotten kinda boring. But I never cheat on her and I don't flirt with people. I'm in this weird limbo / purgatory of kink that I can't engage with it how I want but don't wanna try and just cut it off. I don't really understand how important or not kink is to me happiness and it's been tough to figure out. Things haven't been going incredibly well with my relationship for other reasons as I try to grapple with whether I or not I'm compatible with this girl, sexually and otherwise. And for the record things are fine realistically it's not a bad relationship by any stretch. It's this undercover dread I feel and have a hard time discussing with her for various reasons. In general we have a perfectly happy vanilla relationship. I just don't know if I need sprinkles.